everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Welcome back. Thanks so much for being here with me today. We need to talk about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's most recent appearances because something surprising has happened. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, aka just Harry and the Meg, visited active duty service members and their families at Camp Pendleton in San Diego ahead of Veterans Day. During their visit, Meghan and Harry engaged with Operation Beebs, an innovative mentoring program for children of military families spanning active duty, veteran, and Gold Star families. Mentors and mentees shared how mentorship enhances their goals and aspirations, underscoring the invaluable sense of community fostered by Operation Beebs. Now, there is no details on what value Harry and Meghan brought to Operation Beebs, on what exactly they did or brought of value to this visit to Camp Pendleton, if they donated anything, if Archewell, did anything for the mentors or mentees or anything like that, or if they just came and talked and learned about it. I have no idea. So fill me in the comments if anybody else found any information of any value that they brought. Because if they didn't, then it does look a little bit like a PR stunt. Because they didn't volunteer, they didn't do anything. And if they didn't volunteer time, then one would assume they donated something or something like that maybe. And they didn't seem to have done that for this visit. So I'm just not 100% sure what anybody else got out of this visit besides the Sussexes getting some PR, getting in the news for something that seems positive, which Camp Pendleton and this program, Operation Beebs, is very positive. It's a great program. But they didn't necessarily need Harry and Meghan to go there and to see it. You know what I mean? There's nothing that they brought of value. I'm not trying to sound nitpicky or rude about that. I'm just genuinely wondering, did they benefit at all from this visit besides just Harry and Meghan using it for PR? I'm just curious, because if it's literally just another episode of Harry and Meghan using a group for PR purposes, that's sad and unfortunate, especially because this one involves kids who some of them have lost a parent or whose parents are away or have been away for big chunks of time serving in the military. So it would be disappointing if they used this program just to get PR. But on a brighter note, Meghan did not look terrible this time. You guys, I'm so pleasantly surprised. I'm shocked. She wore a poppy embroidered or embellished, rather, it almost looks like they're 3D, cardigan by Carolina Herrera. So it's ridiculously expensive. It's a multi-$1,000 cardigan, which is unnecessary for a cardigan. But anyway, so I mean, it still was kind of flashing some designer names where it didn't need to be flashed. But regardless, it had poppies on it, which was nice for, Remembrance Day. Poppies are a symbol worn throughout November across the UK and Commonwealth nations. So I suppose, she is married to Prince Harry. That's appropriate. And the navy blue, or it's almost a little lighter than navy blue, was quite nice. It's a pretty color on her. I like the colors together. I thought it was great. And the fit of this, you guys, is so perfect for her body type. I can hardly believe she managed this. My mind is blown. Now, I didn't see very many full-size pictures from this day, so I'm not going to comment on any other part of the outfit unless I have seen it myself, which I haven't yet. If I find more pictures, I'll include it in an upcoming fashion edition as an update. But from what I have seen so far, this cardigan is the perfect cut for her body type. Winning! Finally! Wow! As far as what I can see, it doesn't look like she has on humongous pants. They're not pulled up to her boobs. Refreshing. I mean, really, maybe all those disasters happened so that when she finally decided to follow some advice or dress more properly in terms of body type and whatnot, it would be like a big deal. Maybe that was what it was. It was pretty tragic approach, if you ask me, if that was the case. But no, I don't believe that's the case. I'm not sure how this happened, that she managed to wear something that didn't look terrible. But anyway, what about this makes it good for her body type? The fact that it gathers and has a band there at the lower end of the waistband. So that's perfect. It has a little bit of room throughout the waist and whatnot, which is totally fine. Because it gathers down lower by the hips, it gives the illusion that she has a more well-defined waist underneath there. Not saying that she needs to make herself look like she has a skinnier waist. She's plenty skinny enough. It's rather that it helps to take away from the boxiness of her torso. When you do something that creates an illusion of more of a waistline in there, then it takes away from the visual that she has this boxy square torso, which just in general just doesn't tend to look as proportionate to her long and super skinny legs and whatnot. So this throws her back into better balance by creating an illusion of a better waistline and not showcasing a boxy torso. There's no belt or tie belt or huge pants up to her boobs to showcase that she has a boxy torso. That's not being showcased here. Instead, you're just focused on these poppies. It has a nice regular crew neck, so it's modest in that regard. So it was a really great option. Also, the texture of this cardigan and the cuffs on the sleeves and whatnot allow her to pull it up like we know she's always going to do without it turning into a really, really sloppy look on the sleeve. So you guys, I am going to classify this as a total win. It also doesn't look like she has in a bunch of extensions here either. She might have a couple to add length, but honestly, her hair doesn't look like she added a lot of thickness to it via extensions. It looks much more natural and, you know, much more closer to what her hair normally looks like. The length of the cardigan could stand to be just a tad bit longer. From what I saw, it looked like she wore just a plain black pencil skirt with this, which is perfectly fine. This looks really, really nice for her silhouette overall. It adds some balance. It prevents her legs from looking too twiggy. And even though the cardigan could stand to come down a little bit lower, the fact that it's paired up with a pencil skirt that's underneath the cardigan gives a nice polished finish and silhouette to this. So she finally had a win when it came to her outfit. Later that day, Harry and Meghan helped to unveil a revolutionary warrior fitness program facility for veterans, also in San Diego. So let's see what this article says here. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, aka Harry and the Meg, joined the Navy SEAL Foundation to inaugurate a cutting-edge training facility for veterans in downtown San Diego. The Warrior Fitness Program West Coast facility was officially opened during a ribbon-cutting ceremony attended by them, Navy SEAL Foundation leaders, veterans, and their families, along with 250 Naval Special Warfare personnel. So, again, a great cause, a great facility, but what value did Harry and Meghan bring? Reading this article further, I'm not seeing anything that's indicating that Harry and Meghan or Archewell donated any money to this program being built, that they did any time volunteering. Like, I'm not sure what they did to help it. If they had donated to this cause, it would make sense for them to be there, and they need that PR. They need somebody to see that they've done something other than just latch on to other people's work for their own PR. They need something like that to be said. Normally, it's good for celebrities or public figures to not point out every single little thing that they do for charity, because then it's like taking credit every time. And you don't want to do that either. But since Harry and Meghan have a reputation right now of doing just this, showing up to something and sort of piggybacking on other people's work and other people's causes, they have a reputation for not actually donating hardly any of the money that they raised through Archewell, and not donating hardly any of their personal money, nor do they spend much time donating their personal time, from what we have seen. So they kind of need something that they have done to be evident in the media for people to stop thinking they just leech on everything, because that's why people are raising their eyebrows at this. It's a perfectly good cause. Harry is a veteran, though he's not a US veteran, so it kind of doesn't make much sense. So for them their presence to make sense, they need to have donated either time or money or both to this facility being built, or this program in some way, shape, or form. They can't just show up and be like, well, we'll join you for this ribbon cutting ceremony, we'll join you for this day. Then they're only volunteering their time for one day, and they benefit greatly. They benefit by getting their name in the press for Veterans Day weekend in a positive light. But the organizations themselves are not really benefiting beyond Harry and Meghan being there. This would have been in the news anyway, and they could have invited any number of public figures to join them or well-known veterans to join them. But Harry and Meghan, probably through some PR gymnastics, got linked up to do this event, even though neither of them are US veterans. So that's why it's important to figure out and to know and to point out whether or not Harry and Meghan contributed to this in any way. It doesn't take away from the cause being fabulous, and I don't blame them for allowing Harry and Meghan to come and to join, but from the other side of the coin, it's kind of shitty for Harry and Meghan to use these really noble causes and other people's hard work for their own PR gain. That doesn't sit right with many Americans and many veterans and families of veterans. So it would be very valuable to Harry and Meghan to announce what way they contributed, but none of that's in these articles, which indicates they didn't contribute at all. What do you guys think? Please leave it in the comments, and please correct me if I'm wrong. The articles that I found did not list any actual contributions from Harry and Meghan, monetary or otherwise. All it says is this: Harry, a staunch supporter of U.S. Veterans Foundations since his move to California. So for the last few years, he's been supporting U.S. veterans, has consistently championed initiatives dedicated to the well-being of military personnel. This event follows his previous engagements, including attendance at the Department of Defense Warrior Games and a surprise appearance at a Chula Vista movie theater for his Netflix docuseries Heart of Invictus. So he showed up at a movie theater for his own Netflix project, not really doing much, not contributing in any sort of a charitable fashion, showing up for something self-serving, showing up for the Warrior Games, also not really bringing any value to the event, not doing anything for the event, although I'm not mad at it. I mean, he can go if he wants, that's great, that's fine. But again, it's not pointing out anything that they did for these organizations. There's no note of anything in here. The Sussexes' participation underscores their ongoing commitment to supporting veterans and their families. So they're showing up for this ribbon cutting thing, underscores their support, but they've done nothing to be supportive, really. They show up and they get good PR out of it, so I'm confused. But again, please tell me if I'm wrong. However, again, you guys, we have another actual success from the Meg. She is wearing a Giorgio Armani silk button front blazer that goes for over $3,000, and probably matching pants from the same designer, probably also several $1,000s, and probably some sort of fancy silk camisole or undershirt. So again, flashing wealth where it's not necessarily appropriate to do so, but the cut of this blazer is exactly what this woman needs for her body type, you guys. This is, again, actually a win when it comes to her outfits. What? Okay, so why is this good? This is good because, first off, the blazer is cut down low on the hips. It's cut right about where the upper thighs begin. It is a nice long blazer. That is exactly what she needs. She either needs to lean into a cropped blazer or she needs one that's nice and long. And the cropped blazers even still are a bit dicey. So this nice long blazer helps to elongate her torso, which is the #1 style concern that Meghan Markle has. She has a very short and boxy torso. That short torso makes the boxiness look even more boxy, and it makes her legs look even more skinny and long and out of proportion to her body. So having a longer blazer, elongating that torso, is exactly the first step she needs to be taking in every single outfit she builds. Every outfit she's putting together, start by finding a way to lengthen her torso some way, shape, or form, or to just distract from the shortness of it because it's simply out of balance in terms of proportions. Nothing wrong with that. That's how things work in life. Whatever proportions you have to balance them some way, shape, or form. So this is really, really great. Also, it's slim fit, but it's not too tight. It's not too big. She's not swimming in it. It's not too big. It's not ginormous. It's just right. So the fact that the blazer is not all oversized and huge like these ones that she wore to Invictus Games looks silly and unpolished. It also widens her. It also makes her look like she's wearing clothes that are too big. They just really don't work when she wears oversized stuff. So that's really, really great. This is a nice slim fit. It's exactly what she needs. It's also not too tight and skinny like this blazer that was both cropped and too tight and skinny and just exaggerated that boxy, small, short torso. So this is perfect. Also, it has a nice, clean, simple lapel that's not exaggerated, so it's not super big, and it's also not super tiny. It's just like a perfect normal blazer here, you guys. This is exactly what she needs. Something that's not going to draw attention or add weight to her shoulder line at all, which would widen her. It also just has one simple button here a little bit lower on the torso. It's not exactly in the middle, but it's not also like super drop. It's just right. It's exactly where it needs to be. And this enables, again, for a lengthening effect to the torso. It's nice and clean and sleek, and her undershirt isn't like clashing or drawing any sort of crazy attention. The textures aren't in competition with each other. The jewelry, hair, and makeup and stuff is not in competition with each other here, which is all great and perfect. As for the pants, they are slight wide leg. They do have a bit of a flare as they go down towards the bottom, but they are not huge. Biggest win here is that they are not pleated. They have no pleating in the front. This is exactly what Meghan Markle needs. She needs pants that are not going to add any sort of bulk to her torso area, especially to her belly area, her crotch area, all of those places. You don't need to add any bulk, especially if you have a boxier torso or a shorter torso. You don't want to add attention or visual weight anywhere near your torso because it's just going to enhance and exaggerate the problem areas that you happen to have. So this blazer is perfect. I also appreciate that it doesn't look too long or too short in the sleeves, and she's not shoving the sleeves up in this thing. I also appreciate the fact that her hair is just back in this simple ponytail. Again, it appears she has no extensions in place. You can't just wing your hair back in these types of ponytails as easily if you have extensions. I mean, it can be done, but you do have to be a little bit more careful to not expose the extensions and make it obvious, or to kind of add tension or pull on the extensions at all, which can damage your hair. So this to me, and as you can see, the width of the ponytail is not dramatic or big, so it looks like she doesn't have any extensions here. So it looks like she just has a simple ponytail for this look. It's great. And having her hair back is what she should have done for this blazer look. It looks polished and clean and sleek. Also, you can see the hemline of her pants is not dragging and puddling on the floor. You guys, her pants are hemmed properly. Did she get a stylist? If she got a stylist, we're about to be able to finally see exactly what we've been talking about. All these problems get worked out in real time. If she didn't, and this is just a lucky moment, then okay, great. I'll still take it. But the fact that the pants are not puddling and pooling on the floor shows that she can do it. She just has been choosing not to, which I don't know if that's good or bad. But here, one thing that I noticed is she is standing with her legs really far apart, which just looks awkward and strange. It doesn't look nice when you do that. So that is why I had somebody in the comments ask me what exactly is the problem with the way that she's standing when she was caught in a picture in a bad moment, yes, pigeon-toed, standing there at Invictus Games. You guys remember this picture? She's got the pants literally up to the underwire of her bra. The problem is that when you just take the extra moment to pay attention to how you're looking and where your feet are and how you're standing, when you manage to be mindful about those things, then you avoid those pictures altogether being taken. You don't stand that way or move that way in these situations. And why does that matter? Well, because you're out there to be seen, you're getting professional pictures taken of you, you're getting, maybe other people are taking pictures of you at any given moment. You're there in a professional capacity to try to make this event look good. You're not necessarily there to make yourself look good, but you're there to make the event look good. But if you get pictures taken of you like this, it looks tacky and B-team is the best way I can describe it. It just looks like you're not that with it with these things. You're not polished, you're not presenting yourself in a way that looks good or looks nice, and so it takes away from the event and it takes away from your presence at the event, especially in a situation like Invictus. Her only value at that event would have been to try to help the event look better, to make it look like it was a good time, to bring some attention to it through her name in the press. And the best way to do that is to dress polished and look polished at all times. So here's just another example of that, standing with her feet really far apart here for some strange reason. But again, it could just be a snap taken at a weird moment, but this is why when you are in these sorts of situations, you are trained to keep your feet close together and to slide as you go. So you're taught to slide your feet rather than like take big steps when you're walking down a line of people shaking their hands, because when you take steps, you reach out farther with your legs and you get moments like this, and it looks really awkward when you're stepping out and to the side. So by sliding your feet along and taking smaller steps, or just kind of turn your body and walk normally to the next person to shake their hand, then you avoid these types of awkward situations. As for the event itself, I'm not sure why Meghan is in the forefront, standing in front of Harry here, as if she's the one like presenting something, or maybe she's gonna talk, I don't know. But I'm not sure why she would be the one to speak at an event like this, or why she would be in the forefront or right next to the presenter. She should be off to the side because she's simply there to support Harry, and of course support the cause too, but mainly she's there to support Harry because Harry's the veteran, so Harry's the one who has at least some degree of connection with these people also who are veterans. So it's just a little confusing and awkward to have her right there in the front and center next to the guy who's talking. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Here at the ribbon cutting moment, Harry and Meghan are standing here, and Harry is the closest to the action. He's the closest to the ribbon cutting guy. So it makes sense here because that would be the order of value or relevance to the event, that Harry is more relevant to this event than she, so she is in the supporting role here and Harry is in the lead role for this particular event, if you want to look at it that way. So this makes sense when you look at it, but this one here does not make sense. Also here, you know, it appears that she's leading the way for the handshaking moment rather than Harry, which, you know, now he's not identifying as a royal, so fine, whatever, it doesn't really matter, and this is not a royal engagement. But again, she's leading when she should be supporting, and Harry should be leading because Harry is the veteran. So that's just one of those things that's an etiquette thing. It's not necessarily a royal only thing, it's just an etiquette thing. If I were at an event that was relevant to my career, it would make sense for me to greet people before my +1. If I am accompanying someone and I am their +1 to their event, then they ought to be the one to go first, and it would feel so strange to me to try to go first if I were a +1. Like, this isn't my event. I don't know who these people are. I don't know as much about this scenario, this event, this community as they do. I am just their +1. I'm never going to step ahead of them and take the lead because this is their event. I am simply accompanying them or supporting them. It just would feel bizarre to me. What about you guys? Would you feel uncomfortable doing something like that at someone else's event? Leave it in the comments and let me know. Also, leave it in the comments how you feel about this whole 2 outfits in a row that were not utterly disastrous. What is happening? I'm gonna put a poll up. Do you think she has a stylist or not? We shall see. The coming appearances will bring it to the forefront. We'll be able to tell. If this continues and her good outfits keep coming, then it's clear she got a stylist. What the heck? Something's going on. Something's going on. Maybe WME finally had it with the nonsense. But if not, then, you know, at least she had a couple of lucky strikes, which she has in the past. She always has a couple here and there that are not that bad and that are okay. Luckily here, we had this rare trifecta. They fit her well, they flattered her body type, it was appropriate for the occasion, and she didn't make them look incredibly sloppy by doing fashion faux pas or making silly errors. There's no bras visible, there's no panty lines visible, her hair's not a mess, her makeup doesn't even look terribly dark. What? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Have a happy day. Bye!